Hello again, and welcome to another episode of World of Darkness. Today we will be creating a Nosferatu. Now, Nosferatu is probably one of the more interesting classes to play, or race, one of the most interesting bloodlines to play. The clan weakness. I'll scroll down and show y'all. Is that your appearance is 0 and can never be improved. You can see here that the appearance is actually completely blacked out, cannot be improved a single point. The Nosferatu are turned horrid and ugly by their embrace. Now, certain forms of the embrace, sometimes this could take a couple of weeks. So if you're a new blood Nosferatu, your first night you might look normal. The next day you look like you've aged 10 years. So, anyhow, Nosferatu are very nice in the fact that they add a whole stealth factor that is almost unnecessary in any of the other classes. Malkavian, for example. Malkavian have obfuscates. It's a discipline that Nosferatu also have, which allows you to become invisible or hide yourself somehow. Now, this is an amazing trick. A Malkavian could step into the shadows and kind of blend in and disappear, or sneak around without being seen. But at the same time, you're a vampire. You're stronger than humans, you're faster than humans, and you look good as a Malkavian. With a Nosferatu, it's almost required, because you are so horrifying that the mere sight of you could break the masquerade. The mere sight of a Nosferatu could cause humans to revolt against vampires, because there is no possible way something human could be that ugly. So, let's go ahead and start making one. I can't remember if I made a female or a male last time. Well, let's see here. Let's try a Jess. We can figure out if that's a male or a female later. As before, player and chronicle don't exactly matter. Let's go with nature. Wrong one. Let's go nature. We want chameleon. That's good. Someone who blends in a lot. Let's go conformist too. A chameleon and a conformist. They try to blend. They try to blend into the crowd, and they'll follow whoever's in charge. Let's make this a computer nerd. Generation, as always, we're going to start at 13. I said 13, not 12. Our sire will be... Let's also make it a Jess. But this one will be a Jessica. This one will be a Jess E. Now, as with vampires, attributes are 7, 5, 3, as always. But let's make this one a little more interesting. So, we'll do the 7 as social stats. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Wait, let's do that the other way around. I do apologize about... There's a slight overlap here. Let's see if I can actually fix that a little bit. No, there's a slight overlap in the dots, so sometimes if you click them wrong, it does get a little bug. So we have 7 in our social skills. We'll go 5 in intelligence. We're gonna make her smart, or him smart. We're going to make him averagely witty, averagely perceptive. So he's a guy, like, he's not going to get any hints that a woman's trying to tell him. He's not going to remember his girlfriend poking at certain jewelries at the mall, but he is pretty smart. He's not forgetting the anniversary. And he's witty. Like, he's not extremely witty, but he's averagely witty, so he's not going to be the guy who sits there, gets insulted, and 5 minutes later comes back with the comeback. And, of course, physical. I'm going to put all of his physical traits into stamina. The reason I'm doing this is he's a computer nerd. He hasn't done a lot of physical training, and he's probably not all that nimble. Dexterity is pretty much just nimbleness, like how you move, how well you flow. Whereas stamina, like if he was a computer nerd, at least at my high school, he probably would have been picked on, possibly beaten up a couple of times. He's gotten to the point where a guy punching him in the chest isn't like, he's like, that hurt, but it's not going to bother him. Some guy hitting him a couple of times, it's average stuff. He's just gotten used to it. So he's not that dexterous. He's not dipping and dodging between people, and he's not strong enough to fight back. But he can take a couple of punches. Now let's go again. The standard 13.95 abilities. But he's a computer nerd, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because remember, the 5th point is always double. So we have 7 left. I'm going to say he's a high school graduate. He probably hasn't had a chance to go to college. He's pretty good with technology, like other than computers. I'm gonna say he has a point, like he has at least 1 point in medicine. He's probably treated his own sprained ankles or probably treated his own bruises as well. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 more point. Let's put it in occult. No, science. Let's take a point from technology, in fact, and put it into science. So looking at this character so far, he's a high school graduate, so he has some decent academics. He got some book smarts on him. He's really good with computers. He has some basic medical knowledge. He knows first aid. He's probably can treat a sprain, like he could bandage a wound. He's probably not going to save your life if you're bleeding to death, but he might be able to get you alive long enough for paramedics or someone to get there. He's pretty good with science. Again, probably from his high school. Maybe he was in AP chemistry or something like that. And he's pretty good with technology. Now, technology is a weird one. If you remember the old sheet I used, technology was replaced by language. Like, technology replaced language. So, technology is one of those things where, in my personal opinion, the stat pretty much goes over computers are most technology, at least nowadays. Technology goes over stuff like, how would you explain this? Understanding stuff like circuitry. So are you, like, I kind of use it synonymously with language. So, hey, you have technology skill. Are you good with computer circuits? Are you good with reading maps? Are you good, and stuff like that. I know it's not quite the same, but that's how I use it at least. Anyway, let's go do his 9. Let's see here. I'm going to say, since he's Nosferatu, he's probably pretty stealthy. And as we've seen before, he's also a chameleon and a conformist. If he gets bullied at school, he's probably got a little bit of survival skill. You don't get too stealthy without picking up a little bit of larceny. I'm gonna say he has a little. He's also decent with animals. We see here animalism. He has a ability with animals, or that involves animals. I don't think Animal Kin actually deals with animalism, but it doesn't hurt to have Animal Kin around. Now we have 5, so I'm gonna say he's probably not got any leadership. He has a little bit of larceny, so maybe he has a little bit of streetwise, but not a lot. No, I'm not gonna say he has streetwise. That'd be weird. I'm actually gonna say he has some subterfuge, some empathy, and a little bit of intimidation. No, expression. We're gonna go expression. So this character is a social. Like, he's one of those. He's probably not that popular in real life, but he's really good with the computer. He probably has 100 friends in 100 different countries throughout the world. So he's really good at manipulating people. He's really has a lot of charisma. You can't see him in person, but like if you see him talking on the phone, he's maybe a YouTube star. Like, you know, one of those guys who you never see his face. Wow, I think I just described me for a minute there. But he's good at manipulating people. He's good. He has a bit of charisma. You can kind of follow him. Like, you're not going to follow this guy to death, but you could probably sit there for 20, 30 minutes and listen to this guy's voice while you're eating or something like that and not be bothered. Anyway, let's continue on. So, we are going to have 3 points in disciplines. Of course, we're going to take the average 3. Potence, as I've said before, potence makes you physically stronger. It makes you more potent. We'll go into more details later on. Obfuscate allows you to become invisible, hide, and stuff like that. Animalism pretty much allows you to deal with animals. At level 1, you can kind of talk to animals. So, yeah, not a bad play. Let's see, we have 5 black backgrounds. I'm going to say he has a little bit of, not status, fame. Let's move this computer nerd up to, I said remove computer nerd. Let's make him a YouTube star. He got a little bit of fame. You probably don't recognize his face, but you'd recognize his voice. And let's see here. I'm gonna say he probably makes a decent amount of money off of his YouTube. He has 7 virtues. He's pretty physically fit. Like, he's not strong or nimble, but he's physically fit. So I'm gonna say he probably has a few points in courage. But at the same time, yes, he probably has a few points in courage. Like, he's brave. He's not going to back down from a fight. He's not going to fight you, but he'll stand there and let you pummel on him for a minute until you get tired, and then he'll just walk off. He doesn't have a lot of self-control. He's come into this, like, he's now a vampire, so his one strength, well, while he was a human, his one strength meant he had trouble lifting a 20-pound backpack when you put all your books and stuff in it. Like, he could do it, but it's like kind of one of those, like, oof type moments for him. Well, now he's a vampire, so that one strength is closer to like 50 to 60 pounds. So now, where he used to have trouble carrying a backpack or throwing a bowling ball, now he's having trouble when it comes to stuff like lifting a barbell. So he doesn't have a lot of control over his strength. Like, he tries, but he doesn't have it yet. And basically kind of the same with conscience. He doesn't exactly fit in with the social norms. He tries, but he's in his core, although he's trying to blend in and follow people, in his core he's away from them. He's a computer nerd. So his conscience isn't as well developed because he doesn't value human safety in the same way as like a cheerleader would, because, fuck, what's he give a care? It's like, oh, somebody died? Well, this one person died, But these 3 people survived because that one person died. That's a good thing. 3 more people survived. And everybody else is all, well, but somebody died. And he doesn't understand why people are so tragic about that one guy dying when more people survived. It kind of makes me an asshole, doesn't it? Anyway, so, go 6. His humanity is 6. We're going to make his willpower 4. We're going to roll a dice, same as before. Sweet. Guy got 9. Wait, those are 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Now let's see here. As you see, this sheet's a little bit different. I think I actually opened the wrong. Yeah, I opened the wrong sheet, but this will work. This is the 2-page sheet. Normally, I like to fill these out in the 4-page sheet just because you have more room to do stuff. But this is fine. This is fine. Merits. Let's give him... Let's see here. I'm going to say he's ambidextrous. Ambidextrous. No, actually, he probably isn't. Let's see here. He's probably like a computer prodigy. Flaws. Actually, let's go ahead and try. Let's see here. Where is it? Now, disfigured would be a good one to take, in theory, because like disfigure and deformity, because you're like, well, you're a Nosferatu. You're all like your clan discipline is you're disfigured. The thing is at least in my opinion, if you start taking stuff like, oh, well, you're disfigured, so you're gonna take the disfigured flaw, that's a dick move. Deformity, you can take, however, because deformity, you kind of go into what your deformity is, and you can kind of explain it. But what I was gonna do is, for him, is expendable. People don't, like, he follows, like, people think of him as a follower. So human and vampire kind of see him as somebody who can be thrown away without too much problem. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and give him permanent fangs as well. This means that his fangs can never retract. Not much of a problem. In my opinion, this is probably one of the best flaws to take as a Nosferatu, because anybody who sees your face is going to be too freaked out to give 2 shits about your fangs. At the same time, if you use any disciplines or abilities to make yourself look more presentable, and like you're able to pass off as human, that discipline would also overwhelm and remove your fangs visually, although it would be a temporary thing. Let's see. Yeah, it's a pretty good one to take. It's within the rules, like there's no rule against it, and it's not exactly a dick move. So, let's see. We don't have any allies or contacts. All we had was a job and some fame. But it doesn't go into that, so we don't got to worry about it. We haven't taken any other traits. We haven't taken any passive magic. We don't know any rituals. We don't give 2 shits about the history right now. So, yeah, this would be your character creation. You can make him whatever you want to make him. Yeah, so this is my Nosferatu, Jesse. The computer nerd, or the YouTube star, I could say. Hell, we could personalize this a little bit and say it's Jesse Cox. I won't, because I don't want to get my video flagged or anything, but yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them. I do apologize that I put the I'm using the 2-page sheet this time instead of the 3, or I mean the 4. That will be fixed for the next video, and I do apologize for taking so long to put these out. I try to give a certain amount of time for each of my hobbies a week. For example, the YouTubing thing is I like for playing video games for YouTube. I try to put aside 2 to 3 hours twice a week. Sometimes I don't get to it. For World of Darkness and other tabletop things, basically the same. I try to put about 4 hours twice a week. The problem is lately I've been doing a campaign, and it's about a 3-hour a night thing. Like, it's 3 hours twice a week. So, taking time out of that, like, yeah, it's one of those things that it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and make a video. Oh shit, I have 20 minutes before I have to actually DM, so I need to try to refresh myself, remember what we did last week, and try to get myself prepared and ready for what's about to come. So, they will be coming. It's the weekend. I'm about to work on them. Like, I'm probably going to be putting out 2 or 3 along with this one. But I do want to apologize about them not, like, kind of stopping at La Sombra. So, I'm sorry. But I hope if you're trying to make a Nosferatu that this was helpful. And have fun.